There are a lot of people who see frivolous uses of AI as something negative. But the entire history of technological advancement has been driven by frivolous uses. Let's take a look at it. 1440. The printing press. Gutenberg prints the Bible. Very noble. But what funds the printing presses and drives down costs? Satirical pamphlets and erotica. Without this vulgar demand, the printing press remains a niche tool for religious elites. No enlightenment. 1839. Photography. Invented for science. Funded by vanity. Commercial portraits and stereoscopic nudes create the mass market in Paris. This demand finances improvements in lenses and films. Without it, no photojournalism, no medical imaging. 1976. VHS versus Betamax. The textbook case. Sony refuses adult content on Betamax. JVC welcomes it on VHS. Porn chooses VHS. VHS wins the format war. Not because it's technically better, Betamax was superior, but because the volume of available content was massively driven by the adult industry. Result: video democratizes at home. 1993. The Internet. ARPANET is a military and academic network. When the web opens to the general public, adult sites are the first to monetize. They invent online card payments, adaptive video streaming, content delivery networks, paywalls, anti-fraud systems. Every e-commerce innovation was first tested and funded by the adult industry. Without that, no Amazon, no Netflix, no Stripe. 1999. The GPU. The most spectacular. NVIDIA creates the GPU so gamers can play Quake in 1080p. Billions in R&D funded by teens who want 60 FPS in Counter-Strike. In 2012, Krzyzewski uses two GTX 580s to train AlexNet, the paper that relaunches all of deep learning. Without gamers, no consumer GPU. Without consumer GPU, no CUDA. Without CUDA, no PyTorch. Without PyTorch, no GPT. The chain is direct and unbroken. 2007. The smartphone. The iPhone is sold as a communication tool. But what drives hardware iteration? Candy Crush, selfies, Instagram, TikTok. Vanity and entertainment fund every cycle of improvement. Better photo sensors, better mobile GPUs, more RAM. This infrastructure then makes possible mobile banking in Africa, telemedicine, global GPS navigation. 2009. Blockchain. Bitcoin was born from a cypherpunk white paper. What gave it value and liquidity? First Silk Road, then pure speculation. NFTs, mocked by almost everyone, ended up funding Ethereum infrastructure, Layer 2s, wallets, and more. Without the degens, there would be no stablecoins that today function as payment rails in emerging economies. 2020. Generative AI. Transformers are born at Google for translation. But what creates 100 million users in 2 months and triggers $100 billion in funding? ChatGPT used to write jokes, deepfakes, AI-generated memes, avatars. It's this frivolous demand that funds the race for models, data centers, and inference optimization. The infrastructure that makes possible AlphaFold, drug discovery, and assisted coding. The loop is even complete. Porn funded VHS, which funded the Internet, which funded streaming, which funded content delivery networks, which enabled online gaming, which funded GPUs, which created AI, whose frivolous uses now fund the data centers that will make the next revolution possible. The pattern has been the same for 600 years. Frivolous use, mass demand, scaled infrastructure. Serious use is impossible without this infrastructure. Yes, you may think it's sad that humanity is mostly driven by primitive impulses. But it's just how things are. The frivolous is humanity's venture capital. So the next time someone tells you people are using AI for useless stuff, remember that's exactly how every technological revolution has been funded. Regulating the frivolous, scorning the frivolous, is cutting off the funding pipeline for progress. Thank you for listening. If you think this was interesting, hit like and subscribe.